wounded as he takes on Frank Brown, the 31-year-old from San Antonio, who, as we referenced, has made a career out of breaking knockout streaks, like the last time he was here in Philadelphia when he tested the undefeated Ismael Muhammad, who remains undefeated to this day at 8-0.
Haywood already tested his chin with a quick check left hook as soon as the fight started.
He didn't want to touch gloves either in the beginning.
Nope.
With Brown, but he just means business right now. Banga.
Left hook to the body.
Oh, spit it was
Has paralyzed Frank Brown.
There's no way he can get up from that.
Oh my God, what a left hook to the body.
That might have been the second punch he landed.
That is it. You won't see many body shot knockouts better than that one.
No, that was the hardest body shot I've seen in a long time.
It was very smart to throw it early because guys are not expecting a shot that hard early in the fight.
Is it safe to say that Brian Cohen was correct?
He was most certainly correct.
The kid is dangerous.
He could be in the early going with these knockout bonuses hanging in the balance. Round one, this one's scheduled for 4 in the welterweight division. Mentioned both these men weighed in quite a bit below the welterweight division. And Chris, David Lopez even dangled the idea of fighting at 140. Of course, still very much a growing man.
Yeah, you know, he mentioned that at the fighters meeting.
Big left hand, and down goes Suero.
Beautiful hook right-hand combination over the top from Lopez. Well, living up to his nickname already, very dangerous in the opening round.
And there is dynamite in that left hand, even though he left that nickname behind. The early going, Suero already on the canvas.
Suero's still hurt, too.
Suero coming off more than a year layoff against by far the most talented opponent of his young career.
I was really looking forward to watching Lopez work. I watched some of his sparring. He's a very, very good technician with good power in both hands. We're seeing that early in round number 1. Great awareness.
Trying to dig to the body, but he brings that hook up top, and he sent Suero nearly through the ropes.
That's good. Man, Suero's tough.
Suero somehow back on his feet, but that is it. David Lopez straight to the bank with the knockout bonus. What a performance from dangerous David Lopez. That did not take long at all.
No, not at all. I mean, Suero's not a southpaw, but he came out in the southpaw position, and Lopez took revenge of that perfectly. He threw that right hook out front, came back with a straight left hand.
Montrel James also looking for win number 3 in his career. Build upon that 2-10 record as he's once again tasked with testing a prospect in Donte Layne and lands a couple of good shots here in the early going.
Catch him cold.
Definitely trying to catch him cold, but you can see that there's no really technical skills by James. Just wild barrage of pressure.
Cherokee.
You know, sometimes fighters think that when they're not as skilled or doesn't have as much amateur fights, any kind of experience, they want to overwhelm the young fighter, especially him being an older man. He feels like he could overwhelm him.
And you know, to be honest, these type of fighters that are awkward and don't fight like traditional fighters sometimes become a little difficult. It's not what they're used to sparring with or working with.
Right, 100%, because you're looking for a 1-2. You're looking for straight punches. You're looking for proper punches, and sometimes they don't do that.
And nothing particularly predictable about Montrel James. You see those wild shots over the top as Donte Layne rips him to the body, and then a nice left hand comes right behind it.
That's a way to slow down a guy who's aggressive and awkward.
I'm liking Donte's defense this time around.
Hard shot to the body again, and Layne told us in fighter meetings that's the main strategy in this fight, is to target the body. He feels that James carries his hands a little bit too high, but it's that right hook that has James wobbled. Could we see the 3rd straight first-round knockout for Donte Layne? Down goes James in round 1.
No, referee said
And the referee will call that a slip. I mean, that could have been judged a different way.
He was hurt, but he was
pushed. James in trouble nonetheless.
Listen, Donte's doing what he's supposed to do with this level of an opponent. Still calm, though, and picking his shots. Not overly aggressive.
I like that he's going to the body as well, Donte.
About 45 seconds to keep that streak.
Hard body shot there from Layne, and you're right, has not forgotten about that strategy, has not forgotten about the body.
I think James landed one punch, and it was a right hand. It was a pity pat. Everything else, it seems like Donte slipped.
Credit to James for taking some serious body shots and still standing.
Once again, we are in the money round. There is a cash incentive for a knockout in the opening round.
The referee's looking close, Corey. I think you might get that.
Montrel changes out.
Looks like he gets it.
Donte Layne heading back to the bank. That is a scary, scary knockout.
It was a very dangerous fall. I hope the young man is okay.
As Montrel James getting some assistance.
Of Pierce toward the end of that round. Another good round for Plania in the bank.
Pierce now coming out, trying to walk Plania down a little bit. Pierce trying to tap into that new identity that he says he's cultivated in the ring. And certainly that we've seen. The Elijah Pierce that we've seen of late is not the one that we saw early in his career, who was mostly trying to mimic Pernell Whitaker.
No, he's got way too much power for that. Pierce can actually really punch. And you know, we spoke early on about this being an 8-rounder with this level of guys and how they were going to have to.
Oh, large shot from Elijah Pierce, and Mike Plania is flat on his back.
He's hurt. Very hurt.
That's what he's looking for. That is it. The Wolf, Elijah Pierce, howls in Atlanta. Boy, just when it looked like that fight was getting away from him, we mentioned that he had discovered his power midway through his career. That's the power he can tap into. Take a look at this.
Beautiful straight left hand. No fat on that punch.
Nothing.
Right to the point. Beautiful straight left hand down the middle.
Your winner by way of KO and the recipient of the inaugural WBC OTX belt, the Wolf, Elijah Pierce.
He's put in work, but it's not slowing Sonya down. Sonya is continuing to move forward, even with the shots
Hard
they're
left hand
landing.
there from Oshae Jones. That one staggered Dreiling.
Oh.
Look at Jones go, putting these shots together.
Oh
my goodness. How is Dreiling
Savage exchange
standing?
there. Wow. I'm surprised. You know, Corey, Oshae said she's ready for a title fight, her very next fight. Even though this is a 6th fight, she's ready.
We just had the doctor take a close look at Sonya Dreiling. Very brief look.
Yeah, she needs that. I told her that in the uppercut too.
The doctor was just looking at Dreiling, and we could hear Bozy saying, "Please stop the fight."
It set you right up. Do it again, Shay. Do it again. Yeah, just like that. Relax. Relax. Do it again.
You hear the voice of Bozy Ennis right now.
Up in the combination. Keep going. Try the body with the straight shot too.
A hard left hand right down the pipe there from Jones.
So, Barack, I think she is finding the left hand now, along with the right hook.
Do it again.
I mean, we have 3 rounds after this left in this fight.
I think the crowd is not only listening, and the fans are not only listening to Bozy, but Oshae's listening to Bozy.
There you go. All day long.
Look, Sonya's tough, no doubt about it. But at some point, the referee or her corner needs to start taking a close look and stopping this fight.
Go forward,
There we go.
And that is it.
There we go.
Right on time.
And that is an ethical stoppage. And Sonya Dreiling, understandably a warrior, she wants to fight to the finish, but at a certain point, guys, this is not competitive, and this is not safe for the fighter to be taking part in this either.
No, but she's a warrior, and she's saying, listen, my nose bleeds all the time. I wake up with a nosebleed, so she's upset.
It's not about the nosebleed. It's about the shots that are coming in with no defense at all. Too dangerous.
But in defense of Dreiling, as we take a look at the replays, the threshold in her world of bare-knuckle boxing is a lot different. You can look a lot worse than that, and the referee will let it go. In traditional boxing like this, you're not going to allow that to continue.
See, the jab really set everything up before that referee came in, and that jab and that straight left was so precise. The referee had no choice but to just stop that fight. And I'm not mad at that, obviously. It was a one-sided beatdown.
Yeah, and if you look at Oshae closely, Barack, she doesn't look gassed out. She's barely breathing. She's in good condition. She could have won another 4 or 5 rounds.
Regional title belt also on the line in this one. Obviously, that means a step up in the rankings for Oshae Jones. That means speeding up the process towards some of those bigger fights that you were talking about, Ak.
Right, since the pool is not so deep in boxing, I don't want to say women's boxing, but since the pool is not so deep, she can get to a title maybe in the next couple of fights.
I mean, why couple of fights? I mean, when you talk about guys that are medalists, these guys are fighting for world titles at 1, 2, 3, and 4 fights.
Go, Oshae. Go, Oshae.
Round 3 underway. Brandon Adams and Ismael Villarreal. Villarreal said before this fight that he feels that he's got the toughest draw in the tournament. He feels that Adams, at least right now, should be regarded as the best fighter in this tournament. He's got him in the first round.
Absolutely, he is fighting the most accomplished fighter in Brandon Adams, but if we've seen the last 2 fight, I think it could even get tougher.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a little history lesson. There was a tournament in the middleweight division a long time ago, and Tito Trinidad felt that William Joppi was the best fighter of the tournament going into that tournament, and he was mistaken because it was Bernard Hopkins.
Good hustle on the inside there from Villarreal a moment ago. Villarreal feels that he can stop Adams. He was fairly adamant. He didn't use the words knockout, but he said, I think I'm going to get him out of there. Villarreal so far fighting like someone who isn't afraid of Adams' power, at least. He's eating some shots, but he's going into those dangerous places.
Right. Indeed. And he's firing back with his own hard shots.
This is his best round so far.
And Adams with such a dangerous left hook. We've seen him score tremendous knockouts with that shot. And you heard in Adams' corner between rounds, they feel, in their words, that they've made the appropriate investments, and eventually it's going to pay off in this fight. They think that they're going to stop Villarreal in this fight.
I mean, I think it's a good strategy. The body attack will slow fight it down.
Villarreal's a tricky fighter. I mean, he'll walk you down from the southpaw stance and then switch to the right-handed stance while he's walking you down, throwing body shots.
Very tricky.
Villarreal, a 2-time New York City Golden Gloves champion. Good shot there from Brandon Adams. There's that left hook, just a short left hook, and now he brings the uppercut through the middle.
He's doing great work on the inside. Short right hand, I like it.
You know, the second round, I was saying that Villarreal dragged Brandon into this fight, but I think this is part of Brandon's plan. You know, getting on the inside, he looks comfortable, like you said, Corey, in there, and he's landing crisp, short shot.
Yeah. Right distance. I like what he's doing in there. I like the work he's putting in there.
Well, this is a man in Brandon Adams whose early education in the pros, part of it came through sparring Antonio Margarito, so he's used to this kind of action. And he just landed a nice left hook, just wrapping it behind the right elbow of Ismael Villarreal. There it is again, and down goes Villarreal.
I was just about to say he's investing a lot into the body.
perfect shot to the left.
Villarreal in agony. I don't know if he'll make it out of the round. He's going to go back down. That is it. The cannon detonates and sends him to the semifinals.
Painful.
That is a nasty left hook body shot knockout.
Perfectly placed.
Look at the respect of Brandon Adams. Holding the ropes open for the team of Villarreal.
his record as well. Round one underway. The sound of the cash register, of course, that's because this is the money round. KO bonus on the line, and as we see, if we'll see a new look from Kurt Scooby, guys, you had a chance to sit down with Scooby yesterday, and we certainly saw a different side of his personality.
Yeah, he was more loose. I think he was tense at the weigh-in, you know, and I think he got a time to speak to his manager, and his manager just said, you know what, you got to voice your opinion. You got to get this off your chest, and that's exactly what he did.
You know, I'm thinking that Layne has been a pro almost for 10 years. I mean, Scooby's been a pro for about 4. So,
can somebody say Bermuda's is right? 135 pounds might be his weight class.
Beautiful left hook landed by Kurt Scooby in the first round.
I mean, he owed him with a jab before that.
Is it safe to say Ching Ching, fellas, bonus money?
Oh, he is certainly on the hunt for it right now, and that right hand breaks through. So does that left hook to the body, and Lim is feeling those. Scooby all over
hardest left hook to the body I've ever heard. I think the referee got to take a close look.
Yeah, very close look. There's a minute and a half left in this round for Kurt to get that bonus money.
Daniel Lim looking inward to see if he can make it out of this round. He just got rocked by a jab. As Scooby fighting out of a new stance, a little bit of a higher guard than we've seen. And look how that left hook comes out of it. That is a nasty left hook to the body. Lim is folded up. And I think he's going to stay there for the count of 10.
It's over.
That is it.
Over.
Welcome back, Kurt Scooby.
Beautiful sportsmanship. Beautiful sportsmanship. And a beautiful performance by Kurt Scooby.
Wow.
That's how you come back. That's how you
back.
come back and earn your way back to being headline.
And that is a Subway KO bonus. Find the dip that hits. He found a left hook everywhere and anywhere on the body of Daniel Lim.
Beautiful knockout by Kurt Scooby. And he gets the bonus money.
That left hook was devastating. Respect for Lim getting up for that. That was the second knockdown. And that body shot, oh man. He was just too much.
I love Scooby's body attack as well, as he's on the ring post there screaming, "They doubted me."
That's how you get a guy. You punch in between the shots. He don't know the shot's coming, and it hurts worse because you don't brace for it. And that's exactly what Kurt Scooby did. Good performance.
Of Maliek, never satisfied, never fully satisfied with what he sees out of his son, and his son Maliek right on top of Oscar Escandon here in round 2.
And Escandon went right back to his position on the ropes.
Pretty sure at least that father said, "Hey, this guy doesn't belong in the ring with you right now. Let's get him out of here."
And that's a fact. This is a 40-year-old Escandon that didn't have enough time to train.
And it's not in shape at all.
Yeah, he would have been more competitive than this.
Montgomery, a super high output guy, just given a green light to let his hands go. He doesn't need an invitation, but when he can really line Escandon up, and this is dangerous territory for Escandon, but he really has nowhere else to go.
You know, even if Maliek is not hurting Escandon, if he just sits there on the ropes all night with this type of punishment, I don't see the ref letting this go too much longer.
No, and referee Ansel Stewart, a terrific referee who has a history of looking at fights like this, realizing when they're just not competitive, and stopping them in an ethical manner. So we'll see what Stewart will do here in this one that is just full-on one-way traffic.
Yeah. Punching bag right now. This is target practice for Maliek.
See Escandon looking at the canvas right now, and he takes a knee.
Yeah, he seems to be holding his eye. Those headshots really.
Well, that was an exhausted-looking fighter in the corner in Presco Carcosia. You saw Brendan Gibbons and Coach Ting Sugar trying to motivate their man, but Carcosia's dealing with a lot right now, swelling underneath and around both eyes, and a nightmare of a style matchup in Albert Bell in front of him.
Bell coming out being very precise, landed some good sharp jabs that split the guard, landed a good right hand left hook, and is countering very effectively.
Bell said that not only does he believe he's the most avoided 130-pounder in the world, he believes he's the best 130-pounder in the world, and he's even offered himself up as a short notice opponent.